So, okay. So, when you're on your way somewhere, good things or bad things can happen. If good things happen, you get a dopamine kick, and that keeps you focused on your goal, and it validates your theory, and you get to move to where you're going, and you get a consummatory reward, and good for you. That's success. Except then a new frame of reference pops up, and you have the same problem. And that's Sisyphus, right? You're always pushing the damn rock up the hill. It's always rolling back down. The question is, do you find any delight in pushing the rock up the hill? So the other thing that can happen is something you don't want to have happen, and that thing indicates that you're not getting to where you're going. Now, the question is, what should you do when you find out that you're not getting where you want to go? And the answer to that is, you don't actually know. You actually don't know. And this is where things get complicated, because on the one hand, you could say, you could run into a known obstacle. You remember Rumsfeld? There are known unknowns and unknown unknowns? No, that's probably, you're probably too young for that. Anyways, if I'm walking towards the door and I encounter this table, then that's going to frustrate and annoy me. But it's only going to do it to a limited degree, because I can make a very trivial correction in trajectory and I can get to the door. And so I would say, well, that's just an obstacle. It's an obstacle, I know its features, I have a prearranged schema of conception and action so that I can render it irrelevant with very little effort. Okay, so it's a known obstacle. But then, that's fine, so those are just negative things, and you try to get them out of your way. So for example, that's partly why you clean up your house, right? Because you want your house to be in order, so that if you're doing things in there, things don't get in your way and annoy you. It just makes it more efficient. So basically what you're doing is trying to ensure that the paths you take to desired ends are clear. That's what it means to have a place in order. So it means also the next thing, which is even more important, which is, fine, sometime you're walking from point A to point B, and a table gets in the way, and it's like you're a little annoyed, and you go around it, that's not a problem, and sometimes something else happens. So my old supervisor had this dog, and he used to take it for a walk. It's like you can take your dog for a walk, it's no problem. So one day he was walking along the curb, and his dog pulled him a little bit into the street, and he fell, and he shattered his leg like in 7 places. And it was just, there was nothing wrong with him physically, it's just that he fell wrong, and like poof, I had to put a bunch of plates in there. It's like, that's a whole different category of event. Right? The magnitude of that negative thing is very large compared to just running into a table. And then, okay, fine, there's hospitals and everything, so he got dealt with and he was put back together, and even his fear of the event would be bounded by his knowledge that there is a hypothetical means of dealing with the unexpected occurrence. So it's nasty, but it's not as nasty as things that you don't know what to do with at all. And those are things you encounter in life too. And so I've given you some examples of those before.